Hi all, my name is Dr. Jamie Burriss and I am the program manager in the Undergraduate Research Center at Middle Tennessee State University. We thought it would be a fun idea to create a video for you that highlights what we do in the Undergraduate Research Center and that also elaborates upon our URECA grants and some various offerings, events, and activities that we have going on this upcoming academic year. So I'm very thankful for the individuals that you're about to meet throughout this video. The first will be Casey Penston, who is our program assistant. And then you'll also get an opportunity to meet several of our undergraduate researchers. They are the absolute heart and soul of the Undergraduate Research Center, and I'm extremely grateful to them for being willing to donate their time in creating this video. So usually I give this workshop every semester in person, and we just thought that it might be a nice idea to offer this workshop virtually as well. So thank you for being here, and we hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Jared Frazier. I'm a rising junior chemistry and computer science double major, and I've done research since the spring of my freshman year, and I've had 3 URECA grants since then. And so I've talked to a lot of students about what is undergraduate research and what is mentored undergraduate research, and both of those terms seem kind of nebulous, but they're a lot more simple than you may actually think. And undergraduate research, well, you've certainly done it before, at least for a course. You've compiled some sources maybe, and had some original analyses of whatever these sources were for a particular topic, and then you made an original intellectual contribution, or maybe even a creative contribution in the form of that paper, or maybe you wrote a song for a class, I don't know. Mentored undergraduate research is different because the directive, particularly of the URECA grant, is to put students with a mentor, someone who has experience in your field or maybe a related field, and this person acts as sort of a guide. You can ask your questions to them with regards to a project idea that you may have. You can also join a project that they have existing, and with that, maybe you cultivate ideas later. But either way, mentored undergraduate research is working with an individual, a faculty member typically, and coming up with a project idea or working with their project, and through that, learning how to investigate a topic, how to really explore the depths of it, and what ways you can actually do that to either have your results be statistically significant or publishable, something that could be peer-reviewed. And that really should be the goal of your mentored undergraduate research experience, to gain something that is not just being told what to do, but to learn how to think more critically and to learn how to interact with people and communicate more your ideas.
Thank you, Jared, for elaborating on some of the ways students can benefit by participating in mentored research. My name is Casey Penston. I'm the program assistant for the Undergraduate Research Center. Do you still need more reasons to get involved with undergraduate research? Check out our website to read additional reflections shared by current and past students. Student responses address questions such as, how would you recommend seeking out opportunities by mentored research? And how did the URECA experience benefit your education? You can find this information and more at mtsu.edu/urc/URECA/reflections.
All right, so now I want to elaborate upon the Undergraduate Research Center, what it is, what we do, what kind of events we host, things you can expect from us, things of that nature. So first of all, obviously our primary goal is to promote undergraduate research. Anything related to that primary mission is what we seek to achieve. So how do we go about doing that? One of the main things is our URECA grants. So the URECA stands for Undergraduate Research Experience and Creative Activity. So it's important to keep in mind that not only do we fund research projects, but we fund creative activity projects. Some examples of that might be things that are in the realms of recording industry, in dance and in theater, in music, in the music department. Things in English a lot of times fall under the creative activity. There are a plethora of projects within the creative arts that you can receive a stipend for. We offer these 3 times a year, fall, spring, and summer. And there are all different levels to suit whatever you as a student wants to achieve. So if you want a short-term commitment to this project, we've got it. If you want a long-term commitment, we can do that too. So later on in the video, we will go through exactly what those different opportunities look like. We also offer travel funding. So let's say that you get accepted to present your research or creative project at a national conference, local conference, regional conference, any of those. We can provide funding for that. We also offer a host of student workshops. We have 2 in the works for this fall already. The one in September focuses on SAGE research methods. And then the second one that's in October focuses on what it means to actually find credible sources in research. We have many more in the works, so as soon as I get those figured out, we'll post those on our website. We also host events each year on campus. So this fall, in November, we will have our undergraduate research open house, and we host posters at the Capitol. That is a very selective process where we only pick 7 students to go to the Tennessee State Legislature and present their research. We have Scholars Week, which is a huge university-wide poster exposition. We've also added in a really cool creative arts component to that. And then finally, we often offer our summer research celebration as well for those students who committed to summer research. We offer free poster printing for anybody who is presenting at an academic conference. No need to go spend your own money at Staples or Blueprint. We can do it for you. And then finally, the most exciting thing to me is the student organization that we recently created. It's called SOAR for short, Student Organization for the Advancement of Research. And we have a really awesome group of students who are committed to research. These are students that had interest in attending our national conference. So we submitted, prepared our abstracts together, got those submitted. We had actually everybody got accepted to attend. And so we just host a lot of fun events. We get together as a group. We've been had lunch with the Vice Provost for Research, and this coming year, we're hoping to bring some high school students on campus and mentor them and hopefully get them involved in undergraduate research. So just endless possibilities. But we would love to have you involved in that organization if that's something that interests you.
Hello everyone, my name is Omar Ali, majoring in biochemistry, and I wanted to share some information with you about research. Did you know that the Undergraduate Research Center will pay for your travel to an academic conference? Yes. You can apply for travel funds if you are an undergraduate student enroll in classes at MTSU during that time of travel and presenting your research or creative project via poster or paper at that academic conference. I also want to highlight that the maximum yearly reimbursement for domestic travel is $400 and for international travel it's $500. As always, there is some paperwork required, so please check out our website for more information. Thanks.
Did you know that you can get paid for doing research, all while gaining valuable experiences? URECA grants distribute university funds to support mentored undergraduate research and creative projects. What makes obtaining a URECA grant unique? Well, for starters, you get to work with an inspiring faculty mentor, spend time with other undergraduate researchers, as well as attend awesome events and conferences. URECA is a great opportunity to be a part of an innovation-oriented community. It will act as a springboard for your research interest, and as well as building skills needed for success.
Every URECA grant requires students to submit the following documents. First is your application. This covers the basic logistics. It requires your personal information as well as contact information for your mentor. Second is a proposal. This document includes all of the details for your project, your background and motivation for the project, your methodology, and any kind of proposals for extra funding for travel or materials depending on your project. Third is a detailed project timeline. This is essentially a map that outlines your research process over time. It will give both you and the committee hard deadlines, and it will show how you're going to accomplish your project as it progresses. And finally, you will submit an unofficial transcript. There is no minimum GPA requirement for a URECA grant, but this transcript is meant only to show the committee what courses you've taken so far at the point of your application.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is I am going to give you an overview of the 5 steps that you will go through in order to submit a successful URECA proposal. These steps will be elaborated upon in upcoming slides and by upcoming student presenters, but I just want to give you the overarching steps so you can be aware of them. So step number 1, you're going to pick a level. That just is merely deciding how much time you want to commit to this project. Step number 2, you're going to choose a faculty mentor. Step 3, that is probably the most cumbersome as far as time is concerned and labor intensive. You're going to develop a proposal. Step number 4 is filling out the application portion. That's going to ask for your basic information, your mentor's information, and that's also going to be where you're going to upload that proposal that you just worked on. And finally, step 5 is to submit your full application to AwardForce. Now, AwardForce is a program that we use, the committee in particularly uses to score your applications. So once you achieve those 5 steps, you're good to go. So let's go through those in a little bit greater detail.
Hi, I'm Dara Zweimer, and I am a 2020 URECA grant recipient. Let's go over how to apply for a URECA grant. So the first step in applying is deciding which grant level is right for you and your project. The 2 main things to consider when making this decision are whether or not you have prior research experience and how much, and also how much time you want to commit to your project. So for example, the assistant level is designed for students who don't have any prior research experience. It's a good gateway into undergraduate research. You work with a faculty member for a semester and dedicate approximately 50 hours to your project. The stipend for this level is $500. If you have research experience, then you can apply for one of the scholar level grants. Silver level grants, for example, require about 100 hours of work, and your project can span 1 or 2 semesters. The stipend payment for this level is $1,000. Then there's the gold level. Gold grants are 2 semesters, the projects span 2 semesters, and they require roughly 240 hours of work, and it earns you $2,400. Then there's the platinum level, which is only available in the summer. It's a commitment of 350 hours, and it pays $3,500, which is not bad for a summer job. And I've had to go through this process, so to give you an example, when I was applying with my project, which was officer workload and lethal officer-involved shootings of unarmed citizens, talking about police officers and the effects of workload on them, I had already been working with Dr. John Pennington on police shooting cases for a semester without having applied to any grants. I had Dr. Pennington write a letter for me, vouching for my previous research experience, and this allowed me to apply for and in turn receive a silver level grant. All I had to do was put that letter he wrote for me in my application, and that proved that I had the research experience and I was able to do silver. So it may seem like a lot of information, but it basically breaks down to, do you have prior research experience, and do you have a specific amount of time that you want to dedicate to your project? When you break it down to those 2 questions, it becomes a lot easier to narrow down which grant level you want to apply for.
Step number 2, find a faculty mentor that you want to work with. The way I went about it, for example, is since I'm a dietetics student, I reached out to the DPD director at MTSU, who's over the Department of Dietetics. She then connected me to MTSU's sports dietitian. So this is perfect. She had access to MTSU's athletes, which was the perfect population for me to conduct my research with. And beyond that, I was really interested in her career, so I got to see what she did on a day-to-day basis and work closely with her. So I recommend reaching out to a professor you trust or getting connected with any particular department at MTSU and just trying to figure out who would be willing to work with you and who would be the best resource for you depending on your subject matter.
Once you have your faculty member picked out, it's time to start writing your proposal. There's a few things you want to keep in mind as you write your proposal. Probably the biggest thing to keep in mind is that you want to stay in collaboration with your faculty member throughout this entire process. Send them drafts, send them drafts, send them drafts. Let them help you revise it because you want your proposal to be as awesome as possible. Now, the different parts of the proposal you'll want to include are background, purpose, methods, timeline, and how you're going to collaborate with your mentor. For the background, you want to just give a general overview about what your project's going to be about and why it interests you. For the purpose, tell why the project is important and what the impact on the general field might be. For methods, you want to be really detailed. Give them the exact steps and break them down on how you plan to conduct your research. This is really your chance to shine, to show them that you're prepared to take on all the necessary requirements for a research project. Next is a timeline. Take those steps in the methods section and lay them out in a schedule. Try to determine how long each step might take and plan out when you want to have each of these milestones achieved. Lastly, talk about how you're going to work with your faculty member. How often are you going to meet? How will you guys work together? And probably the most important, what are the skills you're going to learn through this experience? URECA is a great way to get resume experience, and especially if you want to go to graduate school, these are all great research techniques that they'll want to see that you know. Good luck.
All right, so now that we've walked you through the steps of what it takes to create your formal proposal, there are a couple extra items that may or may not be applicable to your proposal. So in addition to the stipend funding that we provide, we also offer funding for supplies or for travel. If, this is the kicker, if they are essential to the completion of your project. So let's say, for example, you are working on a creative project that's focused around an art design, and you need these particular paints and paintbrushes and canvas and some other items to complete your project. Clearly, you can't do the project without those items. So this is where the supplies budget comes in. We say, okay, we're willing to help you pay for these items. If you are at the assistant level or the silver level, you can ask for up to $300 in supplies. If you're gold or platinum, that amount increases to $500. Here's the kicker though. You have to justify your budget. So you have to tell the committee why these items are essential. And then the other thing that you have to do is you really need to go online, wherever you plan to buy these items from, and capture a screenshot of the exact amount. And then we want to see an itemized budget with a total at the bottom. That will really help the committee understand why you need funding in this category. The other category that we fund is travel. So let's say, I'll just use a recent example. We had a student who went to the Biltmore in North Carolina to study about George Vanderbilt's life. And of course, her research was much more in depth than that, but she needed to access some archives that are located there. They're only accessible there, not accessible online. So we helped her pay for that travel. Basically, she gave us an outline detail of the mileage to and from Asheville, which is where the Biltmore is located, and then her hotel, since it was a long journey and she couldn't complete it in one day there and back. We also helped pay for her hotel overnight. So that is something that would definitely qualify for travel funding. Back to budget, there is two things actually that you cannot ask for. Of course, there's always those no-nos. The first no-no is poster printing. We provide, in the Undergraduate Research Center, we provide poster printing. So we have a big plotter, we can print your posters for you at no cost. So that's something you can't ask for. If you do ask for it, they're just not gonna fund it. The second thing is any item that might stay with you. So let's say you are working on a project that requires some particular software, or that's something that stays with you. We'll help you find the software needed. We usually have access to it on campus, and we'll help you find it, but we can't purchase it for you. Other items include laptop, cameras, equipment, things of that nature. So you really, if you have any questions about items that may or may not be eligible, please let me know and we will get you an answer as to whether it can or cannot be included.
Step 4. Fill out the application. The URECA application can be found on the URC homepage. Simply click on URECA Grants, then Overview in the left navigation column. Once you select the application that's right for you, you will include information about yourself, your name, major, minor, affiliated department, etc., etc. You will also include your mentor's name and email address. Then you will upload your proposal and electronically sign your application. Once you submit the form, no worries. It automatically routes to your mentor for their signature. Step 5. Submit your application to AwardForce. We at the Undergraduate Research Center are proud to partner with AwardForce. They provide industry-leading cloud software services for grant organizers. The platform is easy to use and understand, but never hesitate to reach out to me if you need assistance. My email address is casey.penston@mtsu.edu. But don't worry if you don't have a pen handy. My contact information can be found on the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs webpage.
Always remember you must have a faculty mentor. If you're applying for the scholar level grant, then you must have had previous research experience. If your project requires approval by the IRB or IACUC, meaning that you are going to be working with people or animals, then it's highly suggested you contact the compliance office before applying. And lastly, if you're looking for a supply budget for your research, then you must have justification as why you need the funds for that.
What happens after you submit an application? The applications are reviewed by the URECA Committee, which is made up of 10 faculty from various different departments on campus, such as biology, education, history, physics and astronomy, geosciences, dance and theater, chemistry, and recording industry. Those lucky committee members read your proposal and score it based upon a rubric. Then they rank them in order and fund the top proposals based upon the money available for that semester. If you are selected to receive an award, congratulations! You will receive an award letter from the Undergraduate Research Center, and your mentor will be copied on the email. The letter will include details such as your stipend amount, supply budget and travel funding, and next steps. If you are not selected to receive an award, you will still receive an email with recommendations from the committee, which will include insight as to why your application was not selected and recommended changes for resubmission.
Here are some important dates to remember. Thursday, September 3rd is the deadline to apply for funding for this fall. Be sure to get your application submitted by 4:30 p.m., which is the cutoff time. If you miss the fall deadline, the next opportunity to apply is in the spring. The spring deadline is January 28th by 4:30 p.m. And if you aren't quite sure you're ready to apply, but you want to learn more, please email Dr. Burriss, the really nice, amazing lady who coordinates the URECA program. She can put you in touch with a student researcher, or she's always happy to answer your questions.
URECA is a great opportunity for students to expand their scientific skills and to broaden their horizon. This will allow undergraduate students to discuss and debate their research projects as well as to show how important it is. Not only it will stimulate their thoughts to discover other related academic concepts and connect them where possible, but also provides them the environment where they can create and innovate. From my own experience, I highly recommend every student who is currently doing research or even thinking about doing one to apply for URECA. No doubt this will be one of your most remarkable experiences that you will have at MTSU.